Chapter 14. Hala Ani Ani. Hala Ani Ani was about a half-mile from Pukeokalekini, situated on a high plateau in a grove of pandanus trees. The ground was full of lava rock. The ocean floor was about 75 feet from the top of the precipice. As you looked into the ocean, it was like a great mirror with no reflection. In this great mirror was a man and woman formed from lava rock, facing down. The natives of the nearby village always came to Hala Ani Ani and picked the pandanus leaf, hala, to weave their lauhala mats and hats. They claimed the leaves were pliable and durable. This was also the place where the gossip of the village began. Whoever came there first climbed on the tree and pulled all the dry leaves to the ground. When the rest of the women, young and old, arrived, they began to pick just enough to begin their daily routine. The leaves were selected one at a time and placed on the ground and stretched out to be flattened. They used a short piece of bamboo, sharp on one side. Holding the dull end with the right hand and the leaf in the left hand, they scraped the sharp edge on each side of the leaf, removed the center hump, and cut the rough edge on the wide end. They then set the leaf flat on the ground on the side where the center hump was removed. The next step was the stripping to the size wanted, a ½ inch for mats and a ¼ inch for hats. They used a piece of hollow wood for the base, 2 inches thick, split in the center, and 12 inches long. The flat part rested on the ground with the half-round side up. They then stripped 4 pieces, 1/4 by 2 inches, from a bamboo stalk. Each strip was sharpened at one end. They stuck the 4 pieces in the hollow base, spaced 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch apart, allowing 1 inch to stick above the hollow wood. This was the leaf stripper. They took the leaf, pressed it on the sharp bamboo strip, and pulled with the right hand while holding the hollow base with the left hand. This was all the equipment needed in weaving the mats. The women of the village took pride in weaving beautiful mats for their homes. One evening, all the women except one left the hala grove and went home to their village. The one who stayed back was the wife of a chief. She wanted to finish her work before leaving. A beautiful woman appeared and spoke to her. She looked up, greeted her, and asked her to sit down. Then she asked her what she wanted. The beautiful woman replied, "I want you to make me a nice mat, and I will pay you for your trouble." She listened and hesitated at first. Then the strange woman said, "I will help you to make this mat. This is a special design never before seen in this village." The wife agreed to do it, provided that the woman would be there every evening. The next evening, she came to help her. During the time she was with the stranger, she spoke very little and would not say where she came from. But it did not matter at all, as she was nice and helpful. The woman showed her many new designs that she had never seen before. She was happy, and at the same time, she had something to show her friends. During the day, the women of the village arrived at the hala grove. They looked at her mat and were all surprised, as none of them had seen this kind of design. They asked how come she knew how to do it and that it was very beautiful. She told them, "I just happened to think and followed my ideas, and this is the outcome." They said, "Are you sure nobody helped?" She denied this. "There is nobody that helped me." That same evening, the strange woman came. Some of the women stayed late, but they did not see anyone. They heard her talking, and nobody was there. The women were curious and said, "We heard only your voice answering someone. Can it be that someone is here?" She said, "No." They were suspicious that some strange spirit was helping her, but she still denied it. She was worried, so she spoke to the strange woman about the incident, and the woman agreed not to come until the mat was completed. She felt so happy, and the next day nothing happened, so for some time everybody forgot about it. The time came when the mat would be completed in a few days. The village began to gossip about her mat being the most beautiful design. Her husband heard about this, and he was so happy that he came one evening to the hollow grove and saw for himself. He asked her if this was their mat. She did not say yes or no. She just smiled as if she said yes to her husband. She did not want to tell him that the mat belonged to the strange woman, that it was her design, and she would pay her for her work. The day she completed the mat, her husband came to claim it and take the mat home. As he arrived to pick up the mat, his wife told him that the mat belonged to the strange woman. The husband said, "This mat belongs to me, and what would the village think of you? By right of the law of the land, I will take this mat, and we will go home now." At that very moment, the strange woman appeared to demand her mat. The husband, a powerful man, threw the stranger down. He turned to his wife, holding the mat in his arms, and when he looked back, a beautiful woman in the form of a ball of fire was creeping toward them. They turned around and both ran to the edge of the cliff. The goddess of fire, Pele, was there. There was no escape. They both plunged into the ocean. When they landed in the ocean, Pele turned both of them into lava rock. The image of that rock reflects in the mirror on the ocean floor. It is called Hala Ani Ani, or the mirror of the Pandanus Grove.